Hello beautiful people and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, it's great to have you. If you're returning, it's good to see you again. In today's video, you'll receive my channeled message plus a page from the Daily Angel Guidance book and also a Universal Love Healing Oracle card. Now, please note this is a collective group message. So today's message may not resonate with you at all, and that's simply okay. Come back and visit me tomorrow where the message may be more aligned with what you need to know. Childhood blueprint. What's your childhood blueprint? And have you taken the time to consider how what you endured or what you were exposed to growing up, how it may be still impacting you in your adult life? Have you connected the dots? Or have you simply dismissed what happened in your childhood and from your adult self and went, it's no big deal? How many of you have been bullied at school? How many of you were exposed to not a really loving, harmonious environment growing up? Now, none of what I'm going to share with you is about blame, okay? It is simply to give you a perspective that you may not have looked at as to why you feel the way you do in your adult life. Our childhood blueprint is really the blueprint in what created who we are as an adult. So of course, is it not logical that if you've endured certain things as a child, whether it be bullying, an abusive home environment, that unless it's looked at, healed, that it still may be impacting you in your adult life? So let's deep dive into childhood blueprint and find out a little bit more about it. What is your childhood blueprint? Is it one of happiness? Is it one of sadness? Is it one of trauma? What is your blueprint, your childhood blueprint? How has your childhood shaped the adult you are today? What from your childhood still emotionally impacts you in your adult life? Have you taken the time to even consider that maybe something that you endured as a child is still impacting you as an adult? What has your adult self dismissed, not acknowledged, validated, and healed from your childhood? Most adults will have observed, experienced, been exposed to, and endured something emotionally impactful in their childhood. Now, your adult self may be dismissing it and look at it as no big deal. But if you were to go back and get your 7 or 8 year old self to stand in front of you and ask them how that situation made them feel when they were 7 or 8, guarantee you they're not going to dismiss it as you do as an adult. It was impactful. Being bullied is massive. Coming from an environment that may not be healthy is impactful, massively impactful. Unfortunately, for many adults, when they reflect back, they look back at their childhood through their adult eyes and perspective. Meaning you may be looking back, you may have been, I keep going to bring up bullied for some reason, so maybe it's many of you have been bullied. Your adult self looks back at when you were bullied as a kid and says, no big deal, that's what kids do. That's just normal. Your younger self didn't feel it was normal in that moment when they were being bullied. How are you feeling in that moment? I know I was bullied at school, and I absolutely can tap back into how being bullied made me feel when I was 8 and 9. I felt worthless. I felt so left out. I felt like I didn't fit in. I felt foreign. I can go on and on. I've absolutely addressed all that. But I want to bring that up to share with you. And so what's happening in your childhood blueprint that you haven't acknowledged as an adult. You haven't healed. Yeah? Often dismissing the very thing their younger self needs to feel heard, acknowledged, validated, and to heal from it. Most of us will have endured something in our childhood that most likely is still emotionally impacting your adult self in some way today. Yeah? It can cause you to have low self-esteem, low self-confidence, the feeling of abandonment, the feeling of rejected, not feeling good enough. You feel sad, you feel depressed, you feel anxious, you feel lost. And any other emotion that still impacts you and makes you feel a lack of self. You just don't feel, I don't understand. And now my passion comes in, because it's like, I do not logically understand, yeah, how you don't feel the way you do for no reason. You just don't feel crappy or depressed for no reason. There is something far deeper suppressed that's driving the way that you feel. We speak about suppression, right? Where do you feel you suppress that stuff? Where does that go? I am absolutely getting passionate, because for me, what I'm sharing with you today does not make logical sense why people are not taking note of this. And I'm going to touch on a couple of other things. It's like, if you're suppressed stuff as a child, even in your younger teens, whatever it is you've suppressed, it's still sitting within you, yeah? Waiting for that moment for something to trigger it, yeah? And some of you go, I've got low self-esteem, low self-worth. Where do you feel that comes from? That comes from stuff that you've suppressed. Whether it's as a child, a 20-year-old, it doesn't matter where it comes from. The things you suppress will sit within you until you deal with it. I'm going to use the word deal with it, because that resonates with you. Till you deal with it, till you bring it to the surface, you look at it and you heal from it. If you think, and I'm going to use that word, if you think for 1 minute that you can suppress stuff and you can just keep it suppressed in a pot and it's never going to rear its ugly head, you're kidding yourself. You want to know, if you're not feeling 100%, if you're feeling depressed, you're sad, just maybe it's the things of what you've suppressed in the pot that's causing you to feel like that. Yeah? They speak about a chemical imbalance and that we've got this. If you look at the DSM-5, it actually states that a lot of the mental illnesses stem from a trauma. So what in your childhood blueprint have you not healed from that is still impacting you, that you've kept suppressed? And in your mind, you think that it stays suppressed and it's all good. No. That sits there waiting for little things to trigger it. We talk about triggers. That's what it's triggering, the things that you've suppressed. Yeah? I just go, why are you willing to settle? This is doing the work and healing so it no longer impacts you. I'm going to keep going. I hope that you no longer consciously choose to accept that it's okay to not be okay. Why would you settle for the way that you feel? Why are you okay with not being okay? This is the first time I'm going to speak my truth about, we have a day specifically put aside for it's okay not to be okay. Why? Why are, as a society, we accepting and going, oh, it's okay, we don't feel good? This is not about judgment. This is about you looking at yourself and going, are you prepared not to feel okay? For how long? Wouldn't you rather go, why do I not feel okay? What is the cause of that? What is it that I've suppressed that keeps rising to the surface that I need to heal? Isn't that a better question? I don't support it's okay not to be okay. I do not support that day in any way, shape, or form because I cannot logically understand it why people would settle to feel not 100%. Why people would settle not to become the best version of themselves. I cannot fathom, my brain does not get there. And I hope that I've offered a perspective for you that you're now going to go, yeah, you know what? That actually makes logical sense. A lot of the things that we are finding band-aids for do not make logical sense to me. And I hope moving forward they don't for you either. Why would you choose to accept and be okay with the way you feel when you feel miserable or unhappy? Why are you okay with that? Why would you want to be? Yeah? Stop settling today and identify what suppressed pain from your childhood blueprint is causing you to feel the way you do. We all have a childhood blueprint. We all have a story. And it's how you allow that story to impact you makes all the difference. Yeah? And I am not saying for one moment it's easy. Well, what if I said to you, it is far harder to not look and heal from your past childhood trauma than to keep allowing it to keep surfacing and impacting you emotionally every freaking day? Why would you want that for you? Respect your childhood blueprint, acknowledge it, and allow your inner child to be heard once and for all. I hope that I have really been clear on this message. Now, I'm still not well. I'm in my 9th day. I feel like, yep, I'm getting good, and then all of a sudden I fall flat. And today is a powerful message. It is a message I have wanted to share for a long time about the childhood blueprint. And tomorrow I can already feel about delving a little bit deeper into it. It's okay not to be okay. No, it's not okay not to be okay. Why would you settle for that? And yes, it's a slight digression. But for some of you who are not okay, just maybe it's stemming from your childhood blueprint. There are things that you endured that are still so deeply suppressed that are wanting you to look at and heal. And that is when old stuff rises to the surface and we really then have a choice whether we're going to either push it back down or we're going to finally look at it and acknowledge it and allow ourselves to feel it and heal from it. It's up to you what you choose to do. I hope that this message you haven't shut off or shut down. I hope that you've stayed open to hearing what I have to offer. It's purely offering a perspective. I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying it isn't. All I'm offering is for you to look at maybe a way that you hadn't looked at yet, or you hadn't considered yet, or you didn't even know about yet, because you don't know what you don't know. And I absolutely am fully aware that when some of the people that I have seen look in their childhood blueprint and really choose to heal and acknowledge what their younger self endured and said, you know what, shit. Because take a moment, if you are struggling, this has just come through. If you have children, take a moment and ask yourself, how would your kids feel and be if they had to be experienced, if they experienced what you experienced? Would you dismiss it like you dismiss it for yourself? More than likely not. You would hug them and kiss them and let them know everything's going to be okay, that it was terrible what they experienced. It was very unkind what they experienced. And yet for self, you dismiss it. And that is a way I often get some people to really see what they've endured during childhood, is I get them to really look at if it happened to their children. And it's amazing. That is the game changer. So I'm hoping that that may just be the game changer you needed. As you can see, I'm very passionate. This is the core of where so much of what is going on with you stems from. Lack of self-worth, lack of self-esteem, lack of self-confidence all stems from your childhood blueprint. What were you told about you growing up? What did you hear people say about you growing up? How has that impacted you in your adult life? Have you forgotten about it and you didn't take it into consideration? Because just maybe your answer is there to assist you to move forward. All right. What has the book got for us today? I'm just going to take a drink of water. All right. Feel subtle energies. Absolutely. And the energies I'd like you to feel is when you do go back and view your childhood. What energy do you feel when your childhood was exposed, maybe when you were bullied, or if you had, you know, my parents would fight, I was exposed to some things, you know, the energy of the home. How does that energy make you feel? Tap into that energy. You'll be surprised, because maybe it's the energy rather than the emotion that you feel. Feel the subtle energies. It's so important that when you go back and visit your childhood, that you don't just look analytically at what happened. I want you to tap in to the emotions your younger self felt. So go from your gut. Go back and remember, in that moment, how is your 7 or 8 year old self feeling? How did it make her or him feel if he was being teased? Yeah? How did it make you feel if your parents said, oh, you were dumb? And I'm not saying, it's not about blame. Or you felt like they thought you were dumb. Does that make sense? Or maybe at school a teacher made you feel that way. I remember a teacher making me feel that way, making me feel less than, because I come from a poor family that couldn't afford books. And so just by what she said, it's not about what she said, it's about how what she said made me feel. And I remember feeling like I was this little ant and that I was less than most of the kids in the classroom, all because of what she said. So how has something that you endured made you feel? So tap into that energy and that emotion. Yeah? All right, before I read this page, if you want to close your eyes, take a deep breath with me. Just so you can absorb all the words from this message. Today we'll focus on your sensitivity to other subtle energies. You can slowly run your hand close to your body and feel the power that it radiates. Every person, animal, and place emits vibrations. They're the feelings that you sense around individuals and in the rooms or other environments that you walk into. Now this is absolutely saying take this into consideration when you go back and visit your childhood blueprint, yeah? Your body discerns this energy as high, medium, or low level, or something sitting in between. If the vibrations feel higher than your own, you'll very likely perceive the situation as pleasant. If they feel lower, you probably won't care for it. Today, notice your feelings in response to other people, animals, and locations. Run your hands over plants and objects and sense the energies that they emit. Enjoy the sensation of your increasing frequency, which is the basis of your natural spiritual gifts. Thought for today. I tune into the energies that I sense in my body. I honor my feelings and trust their accuracy. So really, for any of you that really do want to go back and visit your younger self, it's really about coming in from your energy. So coming in from your gut, really going back and feeling what energies didn't feel comfortable, what energies didn't feel right, and how are your energies feeling when you take a look at something? Does it feel yuck? You're like, I don't want to go there. If you're feeling something that a yuck energy, I'm going to say a yuck energy from your childhood, then there's something there that really needs to be looked at. It's acknowledging it and validating it and go, you know what? I don't want to carry this anymore. If there's a yuck energy, what is that yuck energy? How am I going to look at that energy and move past it? Because it's clearly something that you've suppressed. And energies, we can feel, we feel when things don't feel right. That's energy. You can feel it. How many things in your childhood did you walk into, or different people's homes, where you just went, I don't like, and you found that you didn't like certain people? There was something about their energy that was off. So go back and visit. I don't know why I'm going here, but there are some of you that there are people that have crossed your path in your childhood that you just felt yuck about. Maybe that person is still in your life, in your adult life. And every time you're around them, it brings up that same feeling. And you haven't tapped in or acknowledged why. And when you're around them, you just feel shitty. So it's time to acknowledge that and go, you know what? I'm not going to expose myself to them anymore. It doesn't serve me. It triggers something in me that stems from my childhood. And I no longer want to feel that. This is where you protect your energy and you protect the way that you feel. And no longer say, I'm going to be okay with not feeling okay. No. If I don't feel okay, I want to shift that. Me not feeling well is just not good. Spoken to my guides and angels and said, okay, I'm done now. There's clearly a lesson, something in my illness that I need to take away, this rest period. And yes, I've digressed, but this is really for you too. Take the time and really tap into the energies about how you're feeling. And if there is anyone in your environment and proximity that really do give you a bad feeling, it's not pleasant, acknowledge that, yeah? All right, so what have we got in the card? Birth. Absolutely. For some of you, you are wanting to birth a new idea. For some of you, it is time to go back to from your childhood. Birth is about rebirth. It's not about having a baby. Well, it might be for some of you. But it is really time to go back, find your childhood blueprint. What happened? What did you endure in your childhood that you've not yet acknowledged, that still sits suppressed in you and is holding you back from rebirthing, from becoming the best version of you? We all have a choice, whether you want to agree with it or not. It's how you look at it that matters. It's up to you to stop settling and to stop saying, this is just my life, this is the way it is. No, it doesn't have to be. You have a choice. And it's up to you what you choose. Go back and acknowledge what happened in your childhood blueprint. Go back and allow your younger self to feel heard. Go back and allow your younger self to heal, because your adult self has finally acknowledged it. It's so important. You have the ability to shift so much in your life. It takes identifying first the cause of why you feel the way you do right now. If you believe that you've got mental illnesses and everything, I absolutely respect that. Then more than likely when I say you've got a choice, that's not going to resonate with you. you don't feel that you have a choice, and I respect that. For those of you who feel that, yeah, you know what, there's things that I endured as a child that wouldn't be surprising if it impacts the way I feel as an adult, whether I've got depression, sadness, anxiety, low self-esteem, low self-worth. Not surprising if what things maybe that you went through as a child that still sit suppressed, which is still driving all of those feelings of self. Yeah? They got to come from somewhere. You don't just feel the way you do because you do. That's my perspective. I don't believe that that's the case. So allow yourself to rebirth. Become the version of you that you want. Yeah? So let's go to what the card has. Birth. I'm just going to take another drink. A spark, a creativity, and an inspired idea. A seed strikes fertile soil and something beautiful is born. This card represents the birth of something new. It may be a new relationship, a job, or a project, or it may be a completely new way of looking at life and looking at life for you. Yeah? I feel that that is more relevant for many of you watching this. It is also the start of an abundant phase in your life. Previously hidden talents emerge during this time. Following your intuition and inner guidance creates abundance on all levels. Is it not surprising that if you really do go back and you heal certain things that you endured as a child, that all of a sudden there's going to be an abundant phase in your life? All of a sudden you no longer look at you the way you have been, that you're a different person, that you are worthy, you are deserving. Yes, you endured things as a child. However, you're now choosing to not allow those things to define who you are as an adult. Yeah, absolutely. Your hidden talents are going to emerge. They've always been there. It's just they've been suppressed because you've held on to these beliefs about you that were untrue. Isn't that surprising that if we bring the things that we've suppressed to the surface, we look at them and we go, how do we choose to allow this to serve us now? An example of where the teacher pulled me up to the front of the classroom and said, why have you not got your own books? It is unfair that your friend needs to share because your parents can't afford books for you. Yeah? So now I held on to that I was less than, I was poor, I didn't deserve. All of those things were what I was saying about myself purely from what I endured as a child. I brought those things to the surface and I said, you know what? It's not a reflection of me. It was a reflection of her. Clearly she had her own shit going on. And I was aware my girlfriend wanted to share the books. And it's like, it's not less than, that's just how it was in that moment. Now I can choose to look at myself of one of lack, or I can choose to look at myself of one of abundance. I choose abundance. I have goals and dreams and desires that I want to achieve. And I absolutely know that I am worthy. And I feel that I am worthy and deserving. It's about feeling on a deep cellular level, not just telling myself I'm worthy. Yeah, I'm worthy, yeah. If you're just telling yourself things, you're going to struggle to move forward. You must feel it with every cell of your being, because you cannot convince yourself. It will be temporary, not long term. Those doubts are eventually going to rise to the surface. So isn't it best that you heal the actual core? And then that way you don't need to keep band-aiding stuff. Allow yourself to be the best version of you. Today was one that is out of the box for me. And I'm like, oh, is that why I've had to be sick? But when you choose to bring all the things that you have suppressed over the years and look at them and heal from them, life will look completely different. And of course, it's all about choice. You must want to. No one can force you to. And if you don't believe that this is the case, then I respect that. And I absolutely respect your journey on whichever path you choose to go down. Yeah? I am fully aware that this works when we look at our childhood blueprint and really visit all the things that we suppressed. Because suppression, what do you think you can keep all that stuff suppressed for your whole life? At some stage, it's going to get full. And then what happens? Is that why you have a meltdown? Is that why you really struggle emotionally? Is that why you feel depressed, anxious, overwhelmed, lost? Because your bucket is now full and all of that suppressed stuff is starting to rise to the surface where you can no longer keep pushing it down. So now it's fight or flight. What do you choose? I hope that you gained something little from today's session. Today's topic is one that I'm extremely passionate about, and I could speak about this for hours. However, I hope that you've just gained something. Even really gone, I'd never looked at it this way. Yeah? Remember, you matter. You matter. You are your most valuable asset. So invest in you and stop settling. Don't settle that it's okay to not be okay. What are you saying to yourself? Why would you want to say that to you? Why would you just not want to be okay? Why wouldn't you want to be great? I respect your time. Thank you for spending your time with me, as it is so valuable. And so I'm grateful that you spent some of it here with me today. If you enjoyed today's video, I'd be so grateful if you would like the video, subscribe to my channel, and also click on the notifications bell so you'll be notified when I upload tomorrow's Cat's message of the day. Childhood blueprint. We've all got one. Some people carry a blueprint that's pretty traumatic, and others painful. And some are so blessed that they've had a wonderful childhood. And it should be the norm. It should be the norm that we all feel safe, secure, loved when we're growing up. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And so is it then not surprising that whatever we've endured as a child impacts us in our adult life? For me, it's just common sense. It makes logical sense to me. I hope that it now makes logical sense to you. So for today, take care.